What about
bleep for a long period of time. Ooh.
this could
It's
go
not
for
taken.
anything?
Buy it. Buy it. Buy it. I'm editing this part of the video out so no one can take the idea. No, that's it. That's the one.
What are we trying first, or do we need to clap?
Oh, yeah. You want to count us? You count us.
3, 2, 1.
Shit.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, you did 3, 2, 1, and then clap on the.
Yeah.
Okay.
The clap's there.
Yeah, it's
Well,
there.
not that it needs to be treated, but the clap is there.
As long as it doesn't burn with you when you pee, it's fine.
Nah.
And I don't have a toilet out here, so it won't be doing anything when I pee because I won't be peeing. Right? Isn't that how logic works?
I mean, you can pee. You don't have to have a toilet to pee.
You're right.
Perfect. You got your fancy ice balls?
Blocks.
Blocks. What are we trying first?
Oh, I was doing the Johnny Walker Black because I think that's what we had first last time. Oh yeah, so while you're doing that, I'll give us a quick intro. Welcome back to the I guess I'm doing this now podcast because I love a long ridiculous name. Why not? This is episode 2. Today, Nathan and I are going to be doing round 2 of the Whatskey sort of activity, I guess. I don't know. I don't think we even really ever said the word Whatskey during the first episode. I think we just did it. And then I realized after the fact, oh yeah, we didn't ever actually say what this thing was called. So we're calling this Whatskey, which is, it's whiskey, Whatskey. It's stupid,
Whoosy
but we like it.
Whatskey.
Whoski, Whatskey.
Who's it's
The idea here
Whatskey,
is different from last time. Last time it was more of a blind taste. Last time we were trying to figure out which of these 4 alcohols is which of these 4 bottles and what corresponds to where. This time around, we're making old fashions out of those same 4 bottles. So we've got Johnny Walker Black, we've got Jameson Black Barrel, got Jack Daniels, and we've got the Crown Royal. I'm going to make old fashions out of all 4 of them. I didn't do my homework, so I don't have them made beforehand, but we'll kind of taste our way through these as old fashions. And the interesting thing to me, I don't know, I'd be interested to hear what you're excited for here. But I forgot my spray. You doing spray? Or are you doing like a citrus or just?
I've got a peel. I did a peel around the rim and twisted and dropped in. It's been marinating for. This is a hard glass to stir.
Oh yeah, is that Vader or what's?
Yeah,
I can't.
No, it's
Stormtrooper, maybe.
Yeah. Sorry, Stormtrooper.
Ooh, well that changes it a lot. Yeah, I was gonna say I think the interesting thing to me about this tasting things as old fashions is it does sort of like an old fashioned between the Ango and the sugar, the added water from the dilution. It does cut off some of the rough edges for a lot of whiskeys, and for me at least in my experience, like I saw this with the cheap old not the cheap old fashioned, the cheap whiskeys, like super cheap whiskeys, like less than $20 for a liter. 3 whiskeys that I tried a while back. I made old fashions with all 3 of those. All of them were, in my opinion, not very good. And I think what's happening there is the old fashioned is taking off some of that edge of like the bite of the alcohol and letting some of those like really the bigger, bolder, sort of broader shoulder flavors of the alcohol or of the whiskey actually come through. And if they're not very good to begin with, or they don't stand up to other flavors kind of sitting up next to them, it kind of falls apart. The flavor, the character of the whiskey, I think falls apart a little bit in some cases. I've also had cases where it's a really good whiskey. You put it in old fashioned, and it just doesn't play well with the Ango, or it doesn't like it's not where, you got to play with it a little bit more. But not to say that any of these can't be made into a good old fashioned. I think it's more just, is it gonna, just a very standard old fashioned recipe, 1 bar spoon of simple, 2 dashes of Ango, stir and enjoy, and citrus on top, orange in this case. How do they do? So that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I mean, starting off with the Johnny is different.
Yeah.
I mean, at the outside of the whiskey or bourbon, the stuff in a old fashioned I really like. So there's a part of me that tastes this initially, and I'm like, that's pretty good. But I think the
Yeah.
Scotch part of it is not great in this. I mean, I
Yeah,
think I
it's
would
like
just prefer some Johnny.
that smoky kind of the like smoky malty is kind of how I would describe generic Scotch, right? And not that I mean I think this is not exactly a generic Scotch, but it has that smoky malty thing, and that's what I get with this old fashioned, with the Johnny Walker old fashioned. It is smoky. There's a malt. It's you know what's funny is it almost has a little bit of like a rye spice somewhere in there. Maybe that's the Angostura
Yeah.
actually.
No, yeah, I think you're right. Could be. I don't know. It's something about that. I think part of it for me is the like identifiable smell of a Scotch whiskey is it's not going with it in
Yeah,
my opinion. Like there's something that is clashing, I guess, in
it
it
is a little bit.
for me.
Yeah, this might do well with like a demerara syrup instead of just a normal simple. Um, yeah,
No
even
way the
even
Stormtrooper glass is throwing this off. This is
I don't think so. I think we're probably tasting pretty close to the same stuff here. You have a is your simple a 2-to-1?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it might even. I'd be curious. I'm gonna add another bar spoon of simple to this, and it's gonna make like I'm not gonna drink the rest of this anyways. But I'm curious if the extra sweetness does anything to kind of calm that down. Smoky is a difficult flavor to. It's hard to get it to chill the fuck out.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't really want to do that.
That's a good way to put it. Which makes me really curious about the Black Barrel or the Black
Yep.
Label. Black Barrel.
Yep. Mm. Damn, now I really wish I had gotten my mic working right because that tink tink on the edge of the glass would have just rocked our listeners' ears. Hmm. That's not better. Nope, it's just
Not
smoky and sweet.
too much sweet.
I mean, it's
I mean,
it
there's
is too
something
much sweet.
about it that
It throws it out of balance.
I don't mind, but I think it's just the
Mm-hmm.
fact that I like a I like the citrusy added
Yeah.
to this stuff a lot. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's my favorite thing about an old fashioned is just having that citrusy added to it and just a splash of sweet, which I know you're not as into sweet stuff as I am, but
Yeah.
something about it that pulls the right whiskey or bourbon together really nicely.
Yeah, I'd be curious.
Excuse me. Sorry. That's going to sound good on the mic.
I'd be curious. I didn't bring any Fernet Branca out here, but I'd be curious if it plays nicer with the Fernet Branca, just because it's a little bit more. Excuse me, rather than being like more like clove and cinnamon and kind of allspice flavors or notes like the Ango is. Like the Fernet Branca is a lot more like roots and black tea and earth and like
Hmm.
it's a much different type of. It's like two sides of the same coin, kind of in my head. Like Angostura is very bright and punchy, and Fernet Branca is like very intense bass notes. it's like
Yeah.
it's like rattle the windows bass notes.
Well, I
Um,
almost got some of the cocoa bitters. I was like, man,
oh,
it just sounds fun to play with. Like that might be something we could tinker around with. I think you said you already had, right?
I have some cocoa bitters. If you're gonna fuck around with cocoa bitters, I would really strongly suggest you sesame wash some bourbon. Like find some bourbon
Hmm.
that you like, like a rye, a high proof rye, like old what's it? Old Overholt, I think it is. They make a barrel proof rye that's like it's like 120 or something along those lines. It's strong, which you want. You want stronger proof alcohols for better fat washing because some of those flavors, the flavors in a higher proof alcohol are going to stand up better
Hmm.
to whatever you throw at it. And I think that's part of what's going on with the Johnny Walker. Honestly, it's only 40%. It's 80 proof, so it's it's not sort of punchy enough on its own to hold up as well. That I say that the Larceny, which I had and enjoy very much, it's 92, so it's only 12 more,
Hmm.
but that washes out to something like does that mean it's 24%? It's 24 percentage points more boozy, whatever that works out to in terms of relative percentage. I don't know.
Just a
Um,
little more boozy.
yeah, I actually watched. Do you know Whiskey Tribe? Have you ever watched any of their content?
Mm-mm.
It's good stuff. They're Texas based. Wait, is that right? That might be right. Don't quote me on that. They're based somewhere, and they have a series that I like a lot. That's basically like will it distill, and they'll take like they've distilled. I think they've distilled Mountain Dew. They distilled. I don't fuck. I want to say Cheetos, although maybe I'm making that up. Like they've distilled a ton of different stuff. Just run it through the still, see what comes out, see what kind of alcohol comes out the other end of it. Um, and I watched one today, I guess, where they took like three or four different, pretty high proof already um, alcohols, and I think one of them was like a high proof Woodford. Another one was which a Woodford is like that same kind of like very vanilla and caramel forward kind of bourbon. If you don't know it, they took a what was it? Was it Glenmorangie? They took it was not a blend, but it's a single malt. I think it's a Highland Scotch, or maybe it's a. It would help if I could remember the actual name of the Scotch that they ran. But anyways, they took a few different whiskeys and they ran them through this process called like it was called like salt dropping or something. I forget. It's like a chemical process, and you put
Hmm.
this chemical into the whiskey, and the whiskey basically sucks all of the moisture content out of your liquid. Like, and you could see it. You could see it separating. But like the chemical they were using on its own at that high of a concentration, which is basically just a really potent form of some kind of a salt at the levels, like the intensity of the chemical that they were using was actually dangerous. Like they gave multiple warnings where they were like, do not do this at home. It can actually kill you. It can and will
What?
send you to the hospital. It can kill you. Like do not play with this stuff. But they took, I want to say it was actually, that's why I'm second guessing myself on whether or not it was an Isla Scotch because Isla Scotches are really peaty. And they were talking about how peaty this Scotch was that they were trying this process with, and I mean, they were seeing some crazy numbers. Like they took a couple of things. Oh, I think they also had the high proof makers, and they ran it through this chemical like water suckage process, whatever you want to call it, and the end result was like 185% alcohol. Like they were getting close on 185%. It was 185 proof. Like it was close on as close as you could get with something that's imbibable to being pure alcohol. Um, and like yeah, like jacking the proof numbers on this stuff way up. I always get percentage and proof reversed. Like I think
Yeah.
40% and I think proof and I get them flip flopped. But yeah, so it was like yeah, I guess the highest number that I saw on that episode today was like 185 proof, something like that. Um,
Dang.
Or maybe that's 185. But that doesn't make any sense to me either. 185%. That's I don't know.
Well, at a
Suddenly
friend's
doesn't make
wedding
any
one
sense to me.
time, we uh, we met some of the bride's family members who showed up with a couple of bottles of like jars of moonshine, but it was like
Oh,
apple pie moonshine,
yeah.
your something else, and uh, it was delicious. We had too
Oh,
much
really?
of it. Oh yeah, the way they made it, I mean, it was like
They actually made it
what?
themselves, or did they buy it?
Oh
You
yeah,
could buy it.
no, they make it themselves, and I mean,
Jesus.
it was no stronger than this. Like the way they had kind of diluted, sweetened, and
Okay.
flavored it,
Hmm.
it was kind of like just drinking a normal bottle of flavored alcohol. But I mean, it was dangerous because where you can taste it in this, and
Right.
it burns. In that you couldn't. I mean, it was delicious. Like,
Hmm.
but I was talking to them, and they ended up asking if I wanted to buy some. And I was like, well, like, what flavors do you have that you can get me, like, tonight?
Yeah.
And
What are
they
my
ran through
options?
like 20 flavors. Like, they were well prepared to sell a bunch of moonshine that night. And we ended up getting apple pie and like coffee. And that coffee
Wow.
moonshine was amazing. It was so good. You could just sip it. Um, but while I was talking to one of the guys, I said something about like, do you mess with any like just strong as you can get moonshine, like the real deal? And he was like, oh yeah. And he pulled a flask out of his pocket. And he said, here, if you want to try it, you can try it. He said, but I recommend you only let it touch your tongue. I don't recommend you drink any of it.
Yeah.
And I did. I just let it hit my tongue, and I mean, it numbed my tongue instantly.
Yep.
And he said, this is best used as cough syrup. He said, if you get sick and you got a cold or something, you take a shot of this, you'll wake up in a week when you're feeling better.
In
And
a
I was just
week.
like, yeah, I was like, wow, really? He said, yeah, do not drink it. I was like, okay.
It's a hell of a sales pitch, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. That
Well,
also
what was
maybe
funny was,
highlights how fucking vile that stuff is.
yeah, what was really funny was, obviously we went back to the hotel that night and passed out hard after drinking as much as we had drank, and woke up the next morning to a call from a number I didn't know, and it was him. And he said, "Hey, Nathan, I'm out front with your moonshine. If you want to come down here and pick it up." And I go down there, and he has a trunk full of different moonshines he's delivering to like everyone who was in the wedding party that was staying in this hotel. He was just calling us one at a time to come down and grab our
Hell yeah.
moonshine and take off.
Get a bunch of people at a wedding liquored up and ask them if they want to buy stuff. I mean,
Hell of a salesman. Hell of a salesman. He
exactly. Seems like,
did an
I mean,
amazing
shit, you don't
job.
even have to be a salesman at that point. You just have to be present.
Yeah.
And
No.
also not wasted.
He was even looking for. He actually asked me if I knew where one of my buddies' moms was, because she had 2 or 3 bottles that she needed to pick up.
Good
But
lord.
what's crazy is she doesn't drink. Like, we all knew she was not one that drank at all, and she ordered like 3 bottles of that stuff,
That's wild.
3 jars, whatever. What are we trying next?
Oh, sorry. I was moving on to the Jameson Black Barrel.
Cool. Uh-oh.
Oh, my larceny's getting all watery.
Yep, I just
I
threw
don't really need
ice
to
on the floor.
probably drink in between the drinks.
Why not?
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not driving anywhere.
Oh, you're not going to drive from the studio tonight?
No, and my car doesn't fit back here between the house and the studio. It's close. Oh,
Initially, I like the smell a lot better.
wow. Those flavors play together a lot nicer.
Oh, wow.
I get like cherry
Yeah,
in there.
that's really good.
Damn, this I don't. It's not often. So here's the thing. This might turn into a rant. Bear with me. I watched some shit recently about. It was 11 different bartenders, all different types of bartenders. There was a speed bartender who had like won awards for how fast she makes cocktails, and she was talking about like, I'll go through 300 or 400 cocktails in a night at her local bar that she works at, like making that many cocktails in a night. I'm just like, that's insane. All the way to the other end of like experimental craft mixologists and stuff, where he's just like, oh, I this is edible paper, and I don't know. I'm making shit up, but you get what I'm saying. Like very broad range of bartenders, different from different types of establishments, all making the same drink, but not making the same recipe, just making the drink, like whatever. Like
Yeah.
there was this one woman who worked in a steakhouse, like a really nice steakhouse. I want to say this was all based in L.A., so it was like places in and around L.A. Um, anyways, they have a lot of different episodes. They have one on a martini. They have one on an old fashioned. They have one on what were some of the other ones? Bloody Mary. A bunch of different episodes. And the one on the old fashioned, I got like I'm not a yell at the screen kind of person. Like I don't watch sports and yell at the screen. But I was about ready to yell at the screen at some of this shit. Like just muddling cherries and like orange slices, like chunks of orange, like muddling them in the bottom of the glass. Like, I don't know. I know that that's a kind of old fashioned. I know that that's a thing. And
Yeah.
apparently, but like that's not, it's so far away from what I think of as an old fashioned. And like, I, Steve and I were in a casino in Mississippi a few years ago for the what the hell was the car show?
Oh yeah.
Cruising the
I
Coast.
remember that.
We went to Cruising the
Yeah.
Coast a few years ago, and I'd never been into a legitimate casino, and so we popped into the casino there, and I was like, yeah, I'll go for a just an old fashioned, because in my head I was like, surely they have decent enough whiskey here. I'll get an old fashioned. They'll make it, it'll be basically these three ingredients, no big deal, and as soon as they pulled out the bright red cherries and they got out the orange and started cutting into the orange and all this shit, I was just like, fuck. I'm about to drink this nasty ass. Not, I mean, I guess technically it is an old fashioned. It's just those, you don't, I mean, the purpose of an old fashioned in my head is it's all about the whiskey, right? Like it's like a pedestal for this, my champagne whiskey or something. Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
have a look at this whiskey, look what I can do, kind of thing, for whatever brown liquor you're putting in there, and all that other stuff just absolutely stomps on it, gets in the way, like and it kind of just makes like a weird like shitty fruit punch with a little bit of
Yeah.
like
Well,
whiskey
I mean,
flavoring.
honestly, the first old fashioned I ever had was kind of rough, kind of like that.
Mm.
Um,
Hmm.
I'm not going to say who made it, but you know who you are if you're watching this.
I've made
Um,
one of those in the earlier days of making
he was like,
cocktails. I thought that's what an old fashioned was.
I mean, this was in the
I
days of
didn't make
like,
many of them.
you know, last time we talked about how like kind of progressed through like the Jack and the Crown and went through everything. This was probably all the way in like the Jack days where like
Mm.
Jack was kind of a nice thing.
Yeah.
And my buddy was like, "You ever had a old fashioned?" And I was like, no." He was like, "You want me to make you one?" And I was like, "Sure, dude." He gets out a orange and cherries and he starts mashing them up in a glass and going through all this stuff. And I'm pretty sure I drank an entire beer while he was making them for us. But he mashed it all up and I think threw some simple in and then like filled the glass with whiskey.
Wow.
Like
Okay.
went heavy whiskey. And he was like, "Oh, taste it, dude. It's so good." And I tasted it and I was just like,
Yeah.
like the Dumb and Dumber cop that drinks the piss
Oh,
beer.
yeah.
I mean, I tweaked out and was like, "You think that's good?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's so good. All the orange and I love cherries." And he put like 3 cherries in his, and
Yeah. And they're
I
probably the
think it
bright
was
red cherries too,
years.
aren't they?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was years before I had another old fashioned because of
Wow.
that experience. Yeah, it was
So
not the preferred method.
so full circle. The whole reason that rant sort of popped up for me was I taste the Black Barrel. There's a little bit of a cherry note in here for me. It's pretty good. Like yeah, it's still not like it's not an excellent old fashioned, but it's all right. I think it might end up being the best old fashioned we have tonight out of the 4. Um,
I mean, it's for sure better than Johnny. I mean,
yeah,
I don't
I
know, and
mean,
I haven't even
I
had a ton of old fashions, so this is
from like
all
a
a new thing for me.
from purely like a taste of the rainbow kind of perspective. Like there were things that I liked about the Johnny that I didn't taste as much in the Johnny on its own. Like my memory of the Johnny on its own is just like this is what Scotch tastes like. If you don't know what Scotch tastes like, get this little bottle of Johnny Walker Black and have some, and that's what
Oh
generically
yeah, oh yeah,
Scotch tastes like, right? Like it's a very nothing wrong with it. It's just a very like it's the brown wooden popsicle stick of scotches. You know what I mean? It's just there's nothing
brown
to it
wooden popsicle stick.
really, but um, versus this has a little bit more going on. It's got a little bit more complexity to it, and this is like so yeah. So actually coming back to my point, which is getting difficult. By the end of this, I don't know. We were gonna play some VR at the end of the night. We'll see if we make it that far.
Eh.
I'm feeling a little
Yeah, I mean,
roasty. But I feel like this is one of the few old fashions that I've had that's made in this way that I could put maraschino, like the dark cherry. And those bottles of cherries are like $25 now for a small bottle. They're kind of ridiculous, but they are delicious. And when you add them to something that it works well with, they work beautifully. Maybe this would be a good one for that, but
yeah, that one was really good. I mean, I really enjoyed that one. I don't know if it's just because it's compared to the Johnny, but
maybe do my little.
what are we doing next?
Oh, you pick.
I
I'm not
mean,
excited about
so
either of these,
far
so.
we've gone in backwards order for what I have mine set up in. So let's go Jack next.
All right. This might
Man,
kill my
I
little
really,
bottle. Oh, no, not quite.
really hate digging in my cup of ice with my hands, but I'm worried. I'm just gonna dump a bunch of water in there.
Oh, yeah. Just pre-dilution. Don't think that's a thing. Oh, my my desktop mic might be turned up a little too hot. We'll see how that goes.
Initially, don't like the smell, but if you remember, Jack Daniels doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, you've got a history of violence with this one.
Trying to wait on you.
I appreciate it. I'm
Don't want
almost
to
there.
get too far ahead of myself.
I'm almost there. I don't know what that was, by the way. Can I multitask?
You're gonna spray and stir.
I thought about it.
Would have been pretty cool
Be a lot
And a
cooler
whole
if you
lot
did.
cooler if you did.
Cheers. This is the Jack. Oh. Mm.
I don't like it. I don't.
It's you know what? This might be why people make things like Wisconsin old fashions.
What's a Wisconsin old fashioned?
That's the thing we were just talking about with the cherries and the oranges and all that.
Oh, yeah. Cover it
Because you
up.
exactly you wanna cover up some skunky flavor. Is skunky? Skunky's more usually like a
Sour.
smell
I'm
note.
telling you. I know it's not
Sour.
sour, but sour's the way that my mind translates it.
It needs an apostrophe D. Soured. It's a soured mash. Like shit's gone bad. What is that? A Chappelle reference? What am I thinking of?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want any more of that, frankly. Um,
No. So far,
Man,
Jack Daniels will not be a sponsor.
probably not. But you know, I mean,
Liquid Death, I'd take though.
Liquid Death, I would happily have. They do good stuff, and their marketing is stupid, which is a good thing.
I almost wore a stupid shirt again, but limited supply.
Yeah,
Gotta
no,
space them out.
that's fair. I mean, they can't all be stupid shirts, right?
No,
I
yeah.
did have in
Was
my
that was that what
what's
the
that?
comment was about? Was my stupid shirt
No, no, that was
more useful?
some of the other comments that we definitely got. We got a lot of comments, tons of comments, and most of them talked about your not classy shirt.
Cool.
No, no,
Perfect.
I think we got one comment, and it was a good one. We'll get there. We definitely want to
Cool.
talk about that
Yeah.
comment. It was a good one. I appreciated the feedback, the insight. It was very good. I like comments, but no, that's not what it was about. I will say, the fuck was I gonna say?
I
Shit.
gotta say, the more diluted this Johnny gets, the more it tastes like tea in a weird way.
It had that. Yeah, it's got like a black tea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn, I'm bummed about I really thought maybe if the Jack was going to turn around my opinion of it, it was going to be with an old fashioned here, but
It's doo doo. It be
it's
doo doo.
it might be doo doo. It really reminds me a lot of and Jack. I mean, Jack's pretty value based, right? Like I don't know what a bottle of Jack costs, like a liter of Jack, but it wasn't one of the sub $20 bottles that I bought, but it has some of the same negative qualities.
I'll give it one more drink.
Yeah. I did see when I
It's
was
just
at my
not good.
no. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's as
Something
popular as that
cheesy about
is,
it.
like is Jack Daniels just popular because people like getting smashed? Like getting hammered? Or like is there something else that we're missing? You know what I mean? Like
I think it's celebrity inspiration.
it's what?
Celebrity inspiration. You know, I mean, you got people that like they're about the Jack Daniels. I feel like
Like
it could
who?
be on a NASCAR car.
Oh, it might be. Might be.
Eric Church. Been to an Eric Church concert. He went in the back and on camera poured himself a Jack and Coke.
I don't know who Eric Church is, but
Well, you're clearly not inspired. You don't have the right motivation. He
no, I guess
also,
that.
oh wait, no, is that him?
But that
No, never mind. No, yeah, the Jack is him. There's something else I was thinking of that.
But that might be an interesting way if you're up for this, because we talked about this in the first episode. And Coke, right? Fill in the blank. And Coke is a known thing. Jack and Coke is definitely one of those known things. That is not the finest expression of whiskey and Coke that I've ever had. I've also heard some types of rum and Coke can be very good, and I've never tried that.
I've had a rum and a Coke with a lime. Pretty
Yeah,
solid.
no, that's yeah. Um, I used in that made me think of I had a brief time span in college where for whatever reason I decided I think because I had heard somewhere that this was how Dr. Pepper was originally consumed. You heat it up, you put lime in it, like a squirt of lime in it, you drink it warm with lime in it, and
What?
it's pretty damn good. I think my
What?
memory of it from that time, which was 20-ish years ago, Jesus Christ, was that it was pretty good, and I stopped drinking it because it was so goddamn sugary. I don't drink soda very often now, just because it just like gets me all fucking amped.
Have you seen the theory that Dr. Pepper is just, I think it's Coke and root beer? Coke and root beer?
No, but also what
That
root
might
beer?
need to be fact checked. I've seen people do it on camera. Whether they're absolute liars or not, I don't know. But I've seen people say, like, was it 23, 22 flavors in a Dr.
It's a
Pepper?
lot. 20,
And
23,
they've said,
26, something
like,
like that. Yeah.
here's the number of flavors in a Coke. Here's the number of flavors in a root beer. It equals 23. They pour it together and they're like, I swear to you, it's the same drink.
they're doing they're doing internet math. I think maybe that's what's going on. We talked
Maybe, I
about
don't know.
we talked about Common Core and Singaporean math. This is the internet math. This is a different thing.
Internet math, conspiracy theories.
Yeah. What do you got? Let's hear it.
It's the government.
What is
They're
it or is
turning
it
our
not?
Coke and root beer into Dr. Pepper.
I see. I see.
Are we going to
Mm.
drink the Crown? I need to move on from that Jack.
Yeah, fair. All right. Let me mix it up. God, I got it. This is so much Crown. To those of you who gave me this crown, you know who you are. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just drink better stuff. To those of you who like Crown, you do you, but don't send me Crown. I mean, we're pretty far away from the time span of like or the time span. We're pretty far away from anyone sending us things because they think we should try it. I have
I
enough
mean,
Crown to last
all it
me the
takes
rest
is
of my life here.
one viewer to say, you know what? I'm going to send them something.
That may be true. But if they send us Crown, I'm shutting down my YouTube channel. No. There are so many far better. I bought a bottle today of still Austin Rye whiskey. It is so far superior in terms of its ryeness and its whiskiness and its bottle shape. Like it's
Is
so
it
good.
just me, or are you using like breast milk bottles for
You're
storage?
not using this is breast milk. You're not using breast milk in your old fashioned.
I haven't in a
No,
while. Probably not since that first one that my buddy made me.
no. This is a Mandela. It is a breast milk bottle. It's a Mandela bottle. They make great anything you want. I mean,
Containers. Yeah.
it's a container. It's got
I was just
measurements on it.
admiring your
Yeah,
resourcefulness.
yeah. No, it's simple that I made in the microwave. It's 2-to-1. I just need a little bit because most of my simple is other weird shit. Um, I made it in the microwave. I let it cool in the glass container that I made it in, and then I poured it into one of these Medela bottles because they're fantastic. You can find them on Amazon. I absolutely recommend that you get some Medela bottles for. You can use them for mixing if you're just doing like a single cocktail of some kind. If you get little bitty cubes, you can mix in that. No, they're great. I love it.
I
Have I
mean,
put
I think
Angostura
we have a
bitters in this
ton.
drink? Do you know?
Uh, Based on color, I don't know.
I don't know
I
either.
can't really see it.
I don't really want to add more in case I haven't. I'm gonna stir it a little bit and
Can't
I'm gonna
smell it.
taste it.
Did you already spritz it?
I haven't. Well, no, I haven't put the ice in it yet. I'm gonna say no. Oh,
The smell, how different the smells are in each of these is kind of blowing my mind. Like, I mean, I think I picked up a lot more from the smells when we tasted these whiskeys last time, but or more than I thought I would pick up from it. But having those extra things in here like makes a significant difference in the way they smell. I feel like it changes the
yeah,
way they smell. Well,
yeah, for sure.
I'm not. I don't feel like I'm getting that across right.
No, you're
Almost changes the core of how they smell, if that makes sense.
no. I mean, um, I don't recall where I heard this, but it makes a lot of sense to me.
Wow. And it tastes
But
so
I
different.
mean, you being a food fan, you understand the importance of salt, right? Like salt.
Yeah.
This was another thing that pissed me off about one of those videos where it's 11 bartenders. One of those bartenders, excuse me, I slurred all of that. One of those bartenders said something so audacious, so like it pissed me off so much. They were making margaritas. It was a margarita episode. One of those bartenders said something to the effect of, "You don't need salt in this drink because salt in a drink." What did they likened it to, like salt is meant to cover up shitty flavors. Is basically what they said. I was like,
What?
you don't understand what the fuck salt does.
Doesn't it
Like,
enhance flavors?
exactly. Exactly. In food,
Huh.
salt enhances. For citrus drinks, salt also enhances. For non-citrus drinks, sugar enhances to a point, right? Like there's a tipping point, you can go overboard. This is one of the reasons I think an old fashioned works so well. Is you add a little bit of sugar to it, and that's like you could just do sugar alone. Put a little bit of sugar and a little bit of water in your whiskey, and it'll calm that shit right down. Unless it's
But if
smoky.
salt enhances citrus, orange is citrus, right? So what if we
Yeah, but
did
it's not.
salt
But it's
instead
not
of sugar?
citrus in the volume. That's pretty
That's
good.
true.
The
It's
Crown Royal
isn't
in
it
this.
weird how sweet it like the sweetness makes it it's almost punchy. Kind of like you were talking. Like I feel like if you somebody like Kelly who doesn't like whiskey, I feel like you make this and add the
Yeah,
cherries and stuff.
yeah.
She doesn't even
Man,
have a
this and
problem with it.
has anybody ever made a, I don't know, a paper plane with Crown Royal? It might be
Oh,
good.
what? A
It's like a
paper
paper plane
plane.
is like it's whiskey. I don't. Is a paper plane usually made with rye? I'm not sure offhand, but usually it's whiskey, it's Aperol, it's lemon juice, and it's simple. So this is doing some of that work. It doesn't have the lemon
To
juice,
me,
obviously, but
it tastes like crap.
it's pretty good. That's
What's that
pretty good.
stuff called? During wintertime, the appley, is it appley? The spice drink.
Oh, not apple brandy. Talking about mulled wine, or are you talking about like
No, just like Mom and
apple
Steve make
cider?
it during apple cider. There's something like cidery about it to
Oh,
me. Just the
yeah.
spiciness of the Crown, the
Mm-hmm.
citrus added in with that sweetness. Like it almost tastes like a cider.
Almost. It's good. It's surprisingly good. I will say. I'm
Did that ever
shocked.
make you? Did that ever make you toddies, hot toddies when you were sick?
Maybe once or twice. There might be a vague memory of that. I've been making them. Tess and I both have been overrun with sinus shit lately. I've been making us hot toddies every night for 3 or 4 nights now. Actually, last night we didn't. We had last words instead, but because we were both feeling okay. But no, hot toddy's great. Um, yeah, I like a hot toddy pretty well. I don't put a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
did
lemon in
it.
mine. It's pretty much just hot whiskey and a little bit of sugar and or sorry, hot whiskey. It's whiskey, a little bit of sugar, and hot water, and like just the breath of a lime, or sorry, fuck a lime,
Lemon.
not a lemon. It's the breath
Yeah,
of a lemon
the
over
breath
top.
of a lemon.
Spritz.
Breath
It's
of
a
a
lemon
lemon.
spritz in my parlance.
I feel like breath of a lemon needs to go on a shirt or be a band name or something like that.
Let's do it. You're the shirt guy. Let's get some shirts going.
That's true. We could totally do some breath of a lemon shirts. Or
Spritz, spritz.
breath of a
Yeet.
lime, cross it out, lemon beneath it.
I do like it. Let's do it. Did you catch my? I really want my spritz yeet over the shoulder. I really want that to catch on. I had
Yeah, I think that's
it
really good.
that for some reason. Have you ever done a thing and it felt so natural to you, and you're like, yes, I want it. Like I wanted. It's like a fist pump. Like I want to do that all the goddamn time. Just
Yep.
spritz, yeet over the shoulder. I don't know
Yep.
for whatever reason. I enjoyed doing it. I it's surprising to me I haven't done it more since I recorded it, but yeah.
Yeah, that
Spritz,
was
yeet over the shoulder probably also needs to be on a shirt.
there's been a couple of things. I would even take I think it was your first video of how the fuck do you even end a YouTube video? Like I would love to just put that on a shirt.
I mean, it does make me laugh, but I don't know if anybody would wear that.
Eh.
I mean, I would wear it to be fair, but
I mean, I
because
gotta
I still don't
keep
know.
this. I gotta get back to the classy shirts for these filmings. So that could just be my classy shirt collection of
Yeah, I mean, I
things that
think
have been
this
said.
this might need to be a thing, really. Frankly, like this could definitely be a part of the revenue stream of I guess I'm doing this now is
Classy
fucking
shirts,
classy shirts. I mean,
classy
yeah.
shirt collection. Yeah,
Is classyshirts.com taken?
ah, we'll buy it from them.
Will we? I mean,
Nah,
shit.
I mean
Nah, we
it
won't.
depends on what they're doing.
Classy shirts 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, it's a thing. What is classyshirts.com? It's nothing. It's just a white fucking screen.
What about
Bleep for a long period of time. Ooh.
this? Could
It's
go
not
for
taken.
anything.
Buy it. Buy it. I'm editing this part of the video out so no one can take the idea. No, that's it. That's the one. Oh my god. Yes. I
It's
love
pretty
that.
great.
Ooh.
Just
Yes,
bleep it
exactly.
out. Bleep it out when you edit it.
It's done. Whoever's watching this right now, that's what they heard. They heard bleep for a long period of time because it's a long name.
Yeah.
And then they heard ooh. Yeah. Yep. It's going to be an enjoyable listening experience for sure. Well, the Crown Royal was pretty good. I do, before I forget, I do want to get to this comment because I liked the comment a lot. I thought it was very good insight. It's also one of the few comments we've had. So if you're watching, add a fucking comment. Just, I don't know, say some shit. You never know.
I mean, do they get a shout out?
They're going to get a shout out as soon as I can figure out how to go fucking look at it. There it is. Okay. Nope, I want to see all comments. Let's see. So the comment is from Venetianization. I
Love
think
it.
that's the way that you say this, like Venetianization. He was excited it was the first episode. He had a similar lineup in the beginning of his whiskey journey. He didn't have the Crown Royal, but he had the Canadian Club. At the moment, he says he would prefer the Jameson of the four. He said, too, that what made him look into the whiskey rabbit hole deeper was the Glenmorangie 10. I've had a Glenmorangie. I'm not sure if it was the 10, but pretty good. Mainly, but that's me saying that. Back to his comment. Pardon me. I mainly buy single malt whiskeys because I like the malt character. So that's maybe something we need to work on because
Yeah.
I like scotches, but I specifically I like the Isla scotches. They have that peaty like Band-Aid office, like doctor's office. I mean, medicinal flavor that, in my experience, most people are like, "Fuck that, I don't want that," but I like it a lot. But Venetianization likes the malt character. His favorites, he says, are the Kregalashi, Kregalashi. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe I feel like if I say it with like a
I think it's the only
semi-Scottish
way to say
angry
it. Yeah.
and Cavalan Podium, Kregalashi 13 specifically, and Cavalan Podium. Those should be quite affordable. From the lineup you have there, I would say if you go the double. This was the part that I thought was interesting. If you go double the price of one bottle, you get more than double the taste. And I'm like, okay. I feel like
Hmm.
in my head, I'm like, challenge accepted.
Yeah.
We can look at pricing for these things. Look at double the price per volume. Whether or not we're going to be able to find small bottles for that price, I don't know. But if we take more than double the improvement to flavor for, I think it would be interesting is if we could find a relatively double price Canadian whiskey, a relatively double price Scotch, American whiskey, and Irish whiskey. I would be really interested in that because that's
Yeah.
because then it's a
I mean,
question of like how
as
much are
long
you
as we
buying
can
into?
get,
How much of a step up in flavor are you buying into at double the price?
yeah, any way to phase out Jack Daniels from the lineup, I'm pretty happy with. So,
Meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out ways to keep Jack Daniels in as long as we can, just because I I feel like yeah. Man, we don't have to do that.
I mean,
We don't need to.
honestly,
The first day was better.
Crown needs to move on after this. This
The
is
Crown, I gotta be honest. I didn't. The Crown was at the bottom of my list the first time around. In round one, the Crown was like the Crown by itself didn't do jack shit for me. As an old fashioned, as an old fashioned, it might be in the top spot. I'll be honest.
for these four,
I
or
think
like your
so.
favorite ever.
No. Of these four, not my favorite ever. Calm down, sir.
Yeah,
No, of these
I
four,
mean, it's definitely between the Jameson and the Crown, but there's, I don't know. Johnny's out for me. Jameson was a huge improvement. I crashed back down to earth with Jack Daniels and came back up with Crown. I don't. I don't know. I
I,
mean, I
I
think you're right. I think Crown for me may take the top spot too, just for how well it somehow goes. The spiciness of it with the orange just works well. A little extra
yeah,
sweetness works well,
yeah.
whereas the smokiness of the Black Barrel Now, a normal Jameson, I would like to see how that works in an old fashioned, just based on
Can
this,
we
because I think
can
the
we do? Would you
smokiness
be
is a
down
little
to
weird.
do an episode of just Irish whiskeys, and we can do maybe it's two Irish, like we could do two or three. I don't know, but like I'd like to do a straight taste on just the Irish whiskeys by themselves, and then also old fashioned them because I think I mentioned this last time. The Tullamore Dew by itself, beautiful. In an old fashioned, it's it's one of the best old fashions I've ever had. A Tullamore Dew old fashioned with, and I've got there's a specific recipe for that old fashioned that I worked out. It's not Ango and simple like straight up. It's going to take a little bit more effort to get there, but it's one of it just like I'm trying to think of a good comparison. Um, it's got a delicacy to it that I really didn't expect, and when you put it in an old fashioned with other like relatively delicate kinds of flavored things, it works really well.
Hmm.
If I want, if I'm trying to remember, I'm going off memory here. I think it was Tullamore Dew, 2 ounces. I think it was the agave syrup in a bar spoon, and then I think I used orange bitters, only 2 dashes of orange bitters, Regan's orange bitters, and it's just nice. It's really subtle. It's not too sweet. It's got a good backbone of that
Hmm.
like Irish whiskey kind of sweeter. Gosh, what is this is the thing that stumps me. I don't feel like I have a good grasp on what the Irish whiskey sort of character is, and I would like to.
Yeah.
The last thing Venetianization says here is it would be interesting to see you two compare the Jameson to the Redbreast 12. So that's one we got to keep an eye out for. Or the Jack Daniels to the Wild Turkey 101. Now, Wild Turkey 101,
Hmm.
I have had. That was a bottle that I bought in college for some fucking reason. And it took us a while to get through that because that is an experience. And when
Yeah.
I wasn't putting it up against Jack Daniels. I was probably putting it up against Makers if I had to make a guess. Um, but at that time in my life, I wasn't drinking whiskey on a regular basis at all. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
I was just going, oh, I've heard of Wild Turkey 101. I'll get that. And I think if I had to summarize my experience in hindsight, it was like drinking paint thinner. But I think
Yeah.
but I think it's actually quite a bit nicer than that. Probably.
Yeah. I mean, is it
Probably.
okay to call out a certain college town bar, you think, without them getting upset that it's in a YouTube video?
I mean, are you shitting on them, or are you saying like, "Hey,
No.
good job"?
Just a,
No,
just
then go
based on
for
a
it.
drink that was served.
No, absolutely
Uh,
not.
for a long time, our tradition in Conway, Arkansas, at the Bears Den, where actually, believe it or not, Gordon Ramsay came through and did one of the restaurant flip episodes where he like helps them revamp their business and stuff. Uh, Back long before that, when I turned 21, a tradition was started to do shots of 252, which was Wild Turkey 101 and Bacardi 151, and
Oh
that's it.
Jesus! Wow.
And
Wait, that was a single shot, or that was
yeah, they
wow.
mixed it. Well, they just poured both in a glass and you drank it, and it kicked off a birthday real nicely.
What did it taste like?
Uh, Death, burn. Most of the time, I mean, I'm going to say 99% of the time, the uh, response, the like reaction to drinking the shot was laying your head down for a minute, 2 minutes, and just getting through it.
Yeah.
But fun tradition, great place to get some pizza, do some trivia, celebrate birthdays, do a little karaoke. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, maybe. I'd
No.
love to take you there in those glasses. I'll say that.
Well, this has been another episode of the exciting podcast, the I Guess I'm Doing This Now podcast. Um, Thank you, Nathan, for your time, your effort, your consideration. We got to work on.
It's the
We got to
Jack.
figure out what the hell to do with your background, right? I mean,
Yeah, I'll paint a wall or something.
yeah. I mean, for now, I mean, to be fair, like a lot of what's there is going to get cut down to just like your shoulder width or a little bit more than that. So it's not
Yeah,
it's not too important, but
I mean, I could start filming in the street or something like that.
that could be cool. We could see. We could go on location. Oh, that's not a bad idea. I kind of like that actually. Go get trash somewhere publicly and record it. I think that's
Completely legal.
is it?
No,
I
I
mean,
don't think so.
why not? It seems like it would be. I mean, you can go get trashed
Uh,
at a place if you pay for the drinks and whatever. Like
yeah.
nobody bats an eye
Well,
at
I mean,
that.
if you're like at a bar and paying for it, but in the street, probably not.
Oh,
Probably
yeah,
not
well,
okay.
that's fair. That's fair. You said in the street, and I immediately interpreted that to be at a place,
No, I just meant
lingering,
like out front in the street.
just in front of your home.
Yeah.
just in the
Just
driveway.
one street lamp behind me or over the top of me.
So that's what you can expect for the next episode of this one. Is I suddenly sounded like I was from somewhere else. I don't know where, but
It's the glasses. You
I
look
think
like
it's the
you're from
glasses.
somewhere else.
I'm not taking them off though. They're gonna stay on until I'm done. Yeah. Hope you had enjoyed. Wow, this is getting really rough. I feel like I've
How the fuck do you even end a YouTube video? I mean,
not like this. Not like this.